Welcome to UCTV News. I'm Carrie Longabuco.
And I'm Marina Tsunami.
Coming up, a serious hazing allegation going on with a sorority on campus.
And more information on the missing Malaysian airline. Stay tuned.
Digging deeper to find the truth. A team you can count on in your university. UCTV Channel 14 News.
Gonna find my baby, gonna hold her tight, gonna grab some afternoon delight. Afternoon delight. Afternoon delight.
UConn is investigating an alleged incident of hazing after a sorority member said she was forced to binge drink to the point of hospitalization. Sophomore Hillary Holt was at a party at the Sigma Alpha Epsilon fraternity house when she was led to a room and saw 3 girls blindfolded. Holt said that the fraternity brothers and her Kappa Kappa Gamma sorority sisters forced her and the other girls to drink. Her family said it is likely that they will take legal action against the university, the fraternity, and the sorority.
Officials say that an object spotted by a Vietnamese Navy plane in the Gulf of Thailand likely belongs to the Malaysian jetliner that disappeared Saturday with 239 people on board. The plane suddenly lost contact with ground controllers over the waters between Malaysia and Vietnam. Vietnamese officials said a low-flying plane spotted rectangular objects in the water in the same area where they noticed oil slicks on Saturday. Civil Administration Chief Pham Viet Dung says search teams for Vietnam and other countries would send boats to inspect the area. Malaysian officials say so far the search being conducted for the missing airliner includes 34 aircrafts and 40 ships, spanning 50 nautical miles.
The Red Cross is providing aid to 18 families after a fire devastated their Manchester apartment building. The fire broke out in a second-floor apartment in Building 3 of the Aspen Woods apartment complex. The flames were contained to that apartment, but surrounding units suffered water damage. No one was injured, and the Red Cross volunteers are working to provide food, clothing, and shelter to the families in need.
The Daily Campus reports that the UConn Fire Department is noticing a rising number of students using e-cigarettes and warns that these devices can lead to an increased risk of fires. E-cigarette chargers have been known to explode, thereby posing a significant fire hazard in the dorms. Fires caused by e-cigarettes have been on the rise in the country and could lead to the same problem here on campus if students leave them unattended. Lieutenant Heidi Vaughn recommends not leaving an e-cigarette on its charger when you're not around because the chargers heat up and could cause any nearby flammable objects to catch fire. No e-cigarette related fires on campus just yet, although smoke alarms have been set off a couple of times by the vapors they produce. To avoid causing a fire, the fire department recommends that students only smoke them outdoors, at least 25 feet from a building, as they would a regular cigarette.
Digging deeper to find the truth. A team you can count on in your university. UCTV Channel 14 News.
Gonna find my baby, gonna hold her tight, gonna grab some afternoon delight. Afternoon delight. Afternoon delight.
Downtown Hartford plans to add almost 1,000 new apartments over the course of the next few years, which is expected to help the downtown area have a more active and vibrant community at nights and on weekends. Right now, there are 5 different apartment projects in the works, 4 conversions, and 1 entirely new complex. This is just the first in a series of new rentals that are expected to be ready by early fall. The work for another 6 apartment projects could begin in 2015. Finding an apartment downtown is no easy task today, and the new units are expected to bring some relief by providing more housing for an expected influx of thousands of state workers and many more college students. Developers are also depending on the recent national trend of people moving back into cities, whether they're young adults just starting out or baby boomers now downsizing.
A New Britain man accused of stabbing his girlfriend to death in January was arrested Saturday. Darren Davis is facing murder charges for killing Veronica Skinsera in her apartment, where the two had been living for about a month prior to the crime. Police say the former couple had a tumultuous relationship which had deteriorated in the weeks before Skinsera's death. Davis was held on a $1 million bond.
The annual party near the University of Massachusetts Amherst, known as the Blarney Blowout, ended Sunday morning with a total of 52 arrests and almost a dozen more partygoers taken into custody. Most arrests were made after the pre-St. Patrick's Day party got violent. A police spokesman described the out-of-control party scene by saying as officers began to disperse the crowd, they were again met with glass bottles, full beer cans, rocks, and snowballs being thrown at them. Amherst police say the gathering is usually held the last Saturday before spring break, and this year it brought thousands of students from campus onto the streets of the surrounding area. Police added that 4 Amherst officers were minorly injured by objects thrown at them and by combative people, and occasionally had to use pepper spray. A spokesman for UMass says the university has condemned the disruptions caused by the Blarney Blowout partiers, and that school will be reviewing the incidents involving the arrested students who are subject to expulsion or suspension.
Fighting is just part of the game for hockey players, but it isn't very often that you see a referee in the center of the drama. 55-year-old Stephen Levins was arrested Saturday after physically escorting a player off the ice. Levins was officiating a youth hockey game at Champions Ice Rink in Cromwell when he called a match penalty, requiring one player to leave the ice. Witnesses say the penalized player became angry and took a shot at the referee's head with a puck, which led to Levins physically taking him off the ice. Parents in the arena became outraged, and some even tried to climb on the ice to get to the ref, causing onlookers to call 911. Levins was charged with breach of peace and risk of injury to a minor.
We've all been hearing about the knockout game that has been seen around Hartford in past months, where the attackers try simply to knock out a random victim with a single punch and typically post a video of it online. Now state lawmakers are considering a bill that would increase the criminal penalties for such acts. The bill currently before the General Assembly's Public Safety Committee would make playing the knockout game a Class D felony. The least serious punishment would be 1 to 5 years in prison and a fine of up to $5,000. Stamford police arrested a 15-year-old boy in February in connection with an attack that ended with a 63-year-old Stamford High School employee suffering several broken bones. Officials are concerned that the attack was just one example of the knockout game. A public hearing is scheduled for Tuesday to hear testimony on the bill.
Here's a story that will warm the hearts of dog lovers. The Newtown Strong Therapy Dogs is an organization that was founded to bring strength and comfort to the community after the Newtown tragedy. On Friday, the Therapy Dogs paid a visit to children at Chamberlain Elementary School, where the Student Council has held a fundraiser to benefit the organization. Students raised $250 that was used to buy new patches for the vests of the Therapy Dogs. Now, when these special dogs are out spreading joy, they'll be wearing a little piece of love from the students at Chamberlain Elementary.
In the future, you may be able to get a simple blood test to find out if you are likely to develop the disease Alzheimer's later in life. In a new study recently published in the journal Nature Medicine, researchers have developed a blood test that could someday be available at your doctor's office. Right now, the only methods to predict Alzheimer's are PET scans and spinal taps, both of which are expensive, risky, and generally unreliable. Dr. Howard Fedoroff, the senior author of the report, calls the new test a potential game changer and says he is very enthusiastic about the possibilities. A different report released last week highlights the urgency of the need for such a simple prediction test, claiming that Alzheimer's takes the lives of perhaps 500,000 Americans, making it as life-threatening as heart disease and cancer. It could still take years for the test to make it to the doctor's office if it continues to be successful in other studies. An Alzheimer's Foundation spokeswoman says that the report was well done, but does still require a lot more work.
Coming up, an owner of a salon plotting to kill her competitor. Stay tuned for more information.
Digging deeper to find the truth. A team you can count on in your university. UCTV Channel 14 News.
Gonna find my baby, gonna hold her tight, gonna grab some afternoon delight. Afternoon delight. Afternoon delight.
Who knew that the beauty industry could be so ugly? a Hollywood skincare expert with a celebrity clientele, was arrested for plotting to kill a competitor. Dawn DeLuise, the owner of a swanky salon called Skin Refinery, is accused of attempting to hire a hitman to kill her business rival, Gabriel Suarez. His business had recently moved into the same building where DeLuise works. Prior to her arrest, DeLuise provided beauty treatments to A-listers such as Jennifer Aniston, Nicki Minaj, and Sarah Michelle Gellar. She is being held on a $1 million bail and is due in court March 19th.
On Saturday, President Obama held a conference call between British, French, and Italian leaders and the presidents of Lithuania, Latvia, and Estonia. A White House statement following the conference call says that all of the leaders agreed on the need for Russia to pull its military forces back to their bases and allow for the deployment of international observers and human rights monitors to the Crimean Peninsula. The leaders also agree on forming a contact group to attempt direct discussion between Ukraine and Russia to help de-escalate the current situation and regain sovereignty for Ukraine. The leaders also rejected a proposed referendum in Crimea on whether it should rejoin Russia. That referendum has become the main focus of the Ukrainian crisis. U.S. Deputy National Security Advisor Tony Blinken said Sunday that if there is an annexation of Crimea, if there is a referendum that moves Crimea from Ukraine to Russia, we won't recognize it, nor will most of the world.
A Florida woman was arrested Tuesday after trying to kill her 3 children by driving her minivan into the ocean. Police said 32-year-old Ebony Wilkerson locked her doors, rolled up her windows, and told her kids to go to sleep before driving the van into the water at Daytona Beach. Wilkerson, who was pregnant with a 4th child, exited the vehicle and left her kids inside as the car began filling up with water. Bystanders rushed to the rescue as the children, ages 3, 9, and 10, screamed for help. Wilkerson insisted that everything was okay and tried to fight off police, lifeguards, and civilians as they tried to save the kids. The children were pulled to safety, and the older 2 told officials that their mother was trying to kill them. Police said the woman does not suffer from mental illness. She is facing charges of attempted murder and child abuse. On Saturday, a judge ordered Wilkerson be held on a $1.2 million bond.
That's all tonight for UCTV News.
Be sure to check us out at uctv.uconn.edu and our new YouTube channel, the UCTV Channel 14.